Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derbies, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Oh man, I lost the mouse. Too many screens over here.
How you gonna do that?
What's that?
How you gonna do that?
Well, I got it back.
Oh, okay.
I just it wasn't as far over as I thought that it was, and then all of a sudden we had to do things, and then there wasn't anything where I needed it to be. But yeah, so episode number 323 on deck. It's going to be it's a bit of a weird show tonight. We made a bunch of plans, sort of mapped things out that we were going to have a couple drivers from the Keystone Nationals on at the top of the show, and everybody that we talked to leading up to tonight is now in thrash mode.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet.
It's not a bet. It's not a guess.
Yeah.
They flat out told us.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. I saw Frank Van Houten last week, and I talked to Dale Randall's going to be making the trip down.
Cool.
So that's cool. He's got a new roof sign and door wrap set. Jordan Early, which we alluded to, he's going to be going down to the Keystone Nationals.
Shot a nice bear too. Did you see that picture?
I saw that.
I think him and his dad went out west hunting and he shot a bear, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I maybe I'm wrong for doing this. I made the assumption that he stunned the bear and then wrestled it.
His dad or Jordan?
Jordan.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
His dad is definitely one of the great guys at Derby. Very nice. Very good dude. With a heavy right foot.
Very much so. Yeah, the Keystone Nationals are due up this weekend. Those guys are all making the trip down. Frank is going. He's never done anything like it, and I can't wait to just hear how much fun he has there. The track fits his style. A lot.
It's great to see so many locals going down. I know Brett and Corey are going down Relier. I believe Jamie St. Mary's going down, which Jamie isn't real local, but I mean he's a New Yorker. I can't remember. Oh, Donnie Hartzell.
Was in the hospital.
Really?
One of either him or his kid or his nephew.
I figured Donnie was probably building for Keystone. It was funny last week. Zach and I were over at my dad's, helping, putting the car away or cleaning up or something. I don't remember. We come by and he's like, "Dad." He's like, "Donnie's working in the shop. I wonder if he's going to Keystone Nationals." I started laughing. I'm like, well, this is usually close to the time Donnie would start building. So
right.
we're good there, so that's cool. Boys and I are still planning on going down. Probably have a spot for you if you think your back can handle that kind of a car ride.
I'm telling you right now that it won't. I had to clean applesauce up off the floor today, and it was.
I kind of figured.
It was going to take an act of God to get off.
I mean, if you still had a caravan, at least you could lay down across the back seat. But
right.
We don't have that, so
no, we don't.
We could tie you to the roof for one of the
not
journeys.
Interested. No.
I'll drive slow.
See, Melissa's got third row seats.
So do we.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what that would work out as?
What?
It would get me down to Pennsylvania and I'd be hunched over at 90 degrees from hunching up to fit the width of the journey.
Well, it's I kind of figured I was going to make the offer, but I knew unfortunately you probably are in no shape to travel.
I'm not interested in sitting in a car that long and then turning around and sitting in the grandstands all night long when it will inevitably get cold in the mountains. And no.
It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. Boys have seen a lot of demos. Zach more than Nick, but they've never seen this one or one like this. I think Fur and Case are coming up.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they're the ones that I've just heard hearsay about that we've mentioned. Like I mentioned last week, Mark Siopa said it's going to be a great show, a lot of big names, but he wouldn't give any out. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. Like I said, I love New Alexandria. It's a great track. I like the tire walls they have. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think it's going to be one for the ages. No question about that. I I don't have any of that driver's list information either.
Yeah.
And I was told to release information last week that we did not do on the drivers, because it was a promoter saying, you know what would be really funny is if you told everybody that this guy's building a car. And we've only done that once or twice, and it hasn't been good either time.
Yeah.
So we're going to stay right out of that rat's nest. And I talked with Steve Siopa, but we just had him on the other day, so I don't really think there would be anything, not necessarily anything new. And I had all my eggs in the basket of picking up a driver, and then as we got closer and closer, it was, no.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's funny you say that. I mean,
it's not the first time we've had this happen either.
no, and that's the thing. I mean, especially for a big show, and a lot of these guys, this is going to be the only one they run.
Right.
So I mean, they're not into the swing of building cars, like they have been doing all summer. So, $10,000 to win, that's a lot of money. So they're definitely welding and re-welding and checking bolts and making sure nothing comes apart that shouldn't during the Derby. So looking forward to seeing it. Like I said, it's going to be a great show.
Bobby Brockway had a birthday last week.
Yep, saw that. Hammer and Hoosier.
Yep. And a friend of mine down in Tennessee, CJ, who's in the process of going back to law school. So
Wow.
Easily the smartest person that I've probably ever met. Connecting with CJ through, guess, there you
Demolition Derby.
WWE video games.
Awesome. Even better.
CJ is a former goalie for, I think, LSU, and worked in goalie for soccer in LSU.
I was going to say, I didn't think there was a hockey team. You didn't say goalie, you mean hockey, but I'm like,
No.
we have a hard time making ice in southern Louisiana.
No, but then went on to work in law enforcement in either Louisiana or Mississippi, and is now in Tennessee. And in conjunction with doing road patrols, worked in child abuse and homicide division.
Oof.
And is now going into law because of everything that they've seen up to this point they feel was mishandled, mismanaged, and they're going to do a better job at it. So kudos out to CJ in Tennessee. Back to blue all that and everything, man, and happy birthday too.
I couldn't work law enforcement like that, because the first time I showed up and a kid was crying and bloodied and a drunk father was standing there proud of himself, probably wouldn't have that job much longer than that. Mm-hmm. We had a gentleman. I think we talked about it way back when on the show, but there was a guy here from Seneca Falls that killed his 3-year-old, and when they weighed the child before the autopsy, he weighed 28 pounds.
Right.
And
that was the fella up here, right?
yeah, he was a very arrogant individual.
Ended up clocking him with a belt, if I recall. Didn't mean to.
Yeah, slipped.
Yes. Yeah.
Repeatedly.
Yeah. Overhanded.
Yeah, and slapped the 28-pound 3-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and just being around him, like, I had feelings that I'd never had before in my life. So, yeah, more. But that's thank you for doing that job, and thank you to the people that do that job. But this cat ain't one of them. I would end up right next to them in an orange, unless you're in Texas, and then they've been known to let people go. Like if somebody's child gets hurt like that, they've been known to let people go on grand jury. So.
In Texas, it's safe to say they kill you back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kill somebody in Texas, chances are they're going to kill you back. Mm-hmm. Should take note of that, but
yep,
that's a different topic for.
So bringing it back to football was back this weekend.
It was. We get out of here at 7. I got to be on the road running. Giants kick off at 7:10, man.
Yep, I got to stop by Walmart, and if the lines are too long, I may end up being stuck there until halftime. Hanging out in the back.
Hanging out in the back. Well, it's funny. We, I finally paid Chris. I'm officially paid entered now for the fall shootout crash course thingamabobber.
The Crash Course Nationals.
That's
you can't even get the name right.
So the gym finally opened. We finally have an open gym in Seneca County. So I took the week down here in Seneca Falls, which is where we do the show. So the boys and I came down and got all signed up in the gym and paid and everything. And we get done, and I was thinking that I'd just have you follow me home tonight, and I'd swing into the bank real quick because that's on the way home for you, and it's sort of on my. We got done. Then Nick's like, "Yeah, Dad, the game starts at 7:10 tonight." And I'm like, "Oh man!"
Yeah.
So
and it's Steelers Giants.
Yeah, so I ran, got gas, ran to the ATM, ran back here. By run, I mean driving fast in the truck. But yes, Steelers Giants. So I'm not going to talk any smack because my Giants have been atrocious.
Yeah, don't do that.
My hope is that they have improved and they win in a squeaker, and I would be happy. So, but on the good side of things, Dallas and Tom Brady got beat this weekend, so that's a good thing.
And it wasn't even the same game.
Yeah, it was a good. It was a good weekend so far. So, see how it goes.
Tom Brady pitching interceptions like it was his job.
And Bruce Arians put it on him in the press conference. Put it on Tom. That's what I said. We were sitting there watching. I said to the boys, I said, "Do you think Tom's walked up to Bruce Arians and said, 'You are no Bill Belichick,' and put his helmet back on and went out and played?" But
Bill Belichick won.
yeah, it's not hard to believe. He's pretty good at what he does.
And Cam Newton wore a yellow suit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Bill was expecting that.
Well,
you see the Subway commercial with Bill Belichick?
I did.
I was dying for that to happen.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick just goes up and rips the sleeves off of the jacket.
Yeah.
Just nothing against Cam Newton. I just think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
But on the topic of football, we watched all that transpire on TV over last week. Monday Night Football on deck tonight. But there was some other interesting programming on Sunday.
Yes.
American Wreckers was on. I don't know if it was the debut with a number of episodes in a row. It was some sort of binge event.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the debut. It was the first I had seen it. That was The Outsiders.
Well, it was the first time anybody I think had seen it because
why did you run all the episodes together?
I don't know because because I'd never heard anything, and then all of a sudden before I sent you that message, that's all anybody was talking about on Facebook. It was on everything. So I don't like to assume because I don't like making an ass out of myself more than I have to, but I'm pretty sure that was the first time it'd been shown.
Well, it was cool.
It was pretty neat.
That's to say the least. It was an entertainment production side of Demolition Derby. It wasn't portraying Demolition Derby as NASCAR. It was definitely playing up the rivalry between the Bellboys and the Outsiders. Ryan Rakestraw, the leader of the Outsiders, and then I blanked on the names. Faulkners. I think it was the Faulkners that were on. Cody Faulkner and Chad Faulkner were on with the Bellboys. It was focused in Bell, Missouri. A couple different successive derbies with team events and stuff.
Well, the one was at the Giscondi Fairgrounds,
right?
Which we see. That's one of the big pages on Facebook. So
it was cool.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
We got to see some, and they were definitely mod cars.
Oh yeah, yeah, they were well built cars.
Yep, and I didn't catch the subsequent one to it where it looked like there was a rollover and they were running a little bit more of a stock build.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I would trust that they had hurt the weld cars enough in the first couple episodes where they had to run stocks.
We finally went out and put up some cameras, so we watched that until we went out to do the cameras, and we came back in and got into football. So pretty good weekend. Team show out west that appeared to have went pretty good.
Yeah, it was a Roughneck Rumble. Chris Grainer had his hands full this weekend because this weekend was also the IMCA Super Nationals.
Oh yeah.
So Nate Ober was working on that while Derby Tees was up there doing the Roughneck show. So I'm sure everybody, nobody was pulling their hair out. I'm sure, So we followed up a little bit on that. Carson Dixon picked up a win in the mod class, and his mod car has now broken behind the transmission cross member, and the down tube on the right side ripped the top of the rail off. So the mod car's dead.
Yeah.
We're not fixing that.
Unless they pressure it back together and re-weld.
He said no. He said he's all done with it. This is Chris. Hey. So So Case just called back. We got Case on the line. Case, I'm going to give you a minute to conference in Nick if you can. Can you do that?
Yeah. Let me get on that right now.
Okay, perfect. So he's going to get Nick in, and we're going to get going with some of this content here. And I spelled his name wrong. We'll go ahead and fix that real quick.
I'm trying to believe an English major would do that.
I know, right? There we go. Back in the game there. So Case Barker and Nick Schumacher ran with Sam Bando, and they all did their Mad Dog thing like they usually do. They got second place in Mad Dog at Roughneck Rumble, so we're going to be talking with those guys. Carson Dixon, he had the mod class. I tried to hold him to his promise from the parking lot, I think at Mandan, from many, many moons ago, where if he won, he was going to come on the show. And he goes, next time you ask, I'm tied up tonight, but next time yes. So we'll catch up with him. He showed me a couple of pictures of the car as bent as it was afterwards, after all the runs that it's had on it. And I joked with him, it's going to take you 3 tanks worth of torch fuel just to cut the thing apart so you can get what you want back off of it. And he said it took him about that much just to get through tech. Wow. With his wagon. So that was kind of cool, getting to catch up with him for a few minutes. The show happening in Sydney, Montana. It was a 2-day show, the 11th and 12th up there. It was All In Promotions that was overseeing it, and Team Silly Willy ended up coming up with the win in that one. We're going to be talking with Devon Groeneveld from up in Alberta. He happened to be in the United States on well, he can explain how it is that he managed to be in the United States and if he is still there. Case, you got him?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we got Case and Nick here on the line. We chatted a little bit earlier today with Sam Bando. It occurred to me why we kept pronouncing his name wrong for so long. Bandow, right? Because a guy that drives that hard, wouldn't it make sense that the word "ow" was in his name?
You would think.
You would think.
You would think.
Talked with Bando a little bit earlier today, and he was ultra complimentary of the team, and thankfully you guys were available to come on and talk a little bit about the run out there at Roughneck Rumble. The pictures looked like it lived up to its name, that's for sure. How good was the weekend?
It was a fun weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
How far was that tow for you?
For me, it was 13 hours, so not too far, but a little bit of a push.
How about for you, Nick?
Myself, it's about 9 hours, 10 hours with a couple fuel stops, and that's not too far.
Jeez. You guys really want to drive a derby. You guys put together a real strong team. You had some support from Team Near It this weekend, and you went out there and delivered. How was the heat? It didn't look like anybody really had an easy path when you start looking at who was out there. I thought I saw Shay's name on there on one of the teams. Team Ass Kicker was out there with Ponzer's crew. It certainly seemed like it was a stacked bracket.
It sure did. It was kind of a nail-biting deal at first because every other show we've ever ran, you kind of draw your heats and you kind of know before, the show, and you kind of make some plans of attack. But this show was a little bit different. They didn't tell you till basically right before you're ready to pull on the track on who you're running against and to hurry up and get your stuff, organized and get on the track. So,
was it purely head-to-head? All the qualifying rounds were head-to-head, or was there any groups of 3?
The first round was a group of 3, and I think that's kind of what their main deal was, to try not to give anybody advantage in that first heat, to say, hey, we'll run together, or try to make some plans. And ended up being Silly Willy, Ass Kicker, and I can't remember. It was a red and black team. I can't remember their name, but
yeah, the show looked like it was rough.
Yeah.
Sam Williams was up there. I saw him. He was interviewed on Derby Tees TV. Steve Bucknam had a birthday over the weekend, so they put together a birthday video for him up there. And Sam was interviewed wearing his Team DMP shirt, which was cool. For all the times that he had to decide what they had to fix in the inspection line, that he's wearing the DMP shirt. So I was entertained by that. And I mean, just the opening rounds were rough, and then they did a special feature on the guys in the B bracket, the B feature, and I mean, there was a lot of tired faces in that video getting it ready. When you guys went out for the A main, then you had about 7 teams to go up against, right?
I'm trying to see. There was Ass Kicker, Has-Beens, Team Near It, which is us, and then Silly Willy, Calisota, and Bee's Knees, I think, was the runners, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then Bee's Knees ended up taking 3rd place. Calisota, we talked with Chris Lancaster last weekend about this show, sort of helped put it on the radar. And then the photos started coming in as strong as the weekend looked. When you're out there, you start looking at the landscape of who didn't qualify, who ran the B, who's in the A. Kind of like you said, a bit of that nail biter stuff. You don't really get to figure out your plan of attack. You don't really know who you're going to be up against, and it sort of added that wild card element, and it gave you a little bit of a different look in the feature than probably on paper you would have expected.
Correct. And the biggest thing was that first heat draw is, are we going to be in that heat of 3 or are we going to be in this of 2?
So as the feature played out for you guys, was there a collective decision that you're going to go out there and just be the hammer instead of the nail?
Well, we knew. Ass Kicker is a heck of a team, and we kind of thought, well, either we go head to head right away, or we wait to the end. And the decision was made. I guess we go head to head, and Brady has one heck of a team, and with Ponzer and Katie and everybody that was on there was great. No slackers by any means, and I think both of us teams gave it all we had, and you look at the videos and the pictures, and it looks like it was kind of 2 separate derbies out there in the feature. It was kind of us attacking each other on the other end, and 4 teams kind of pushing it on the other end of the track. So.
Is it easier when you know that's your focus? You don't really have to worry about the rest of it, and you guys can just have your own derby, or can you get caught sleeping as you get focused on that other group of 4? You guys start derbying, and a haymaker out of right field can make something funky happen to your car.
Well, it could have, but it didn't seem to happen. It seemed like they kind of turned their head and thought, man, let's stay out of that war down there. Let's just stay down here and bump around until let them 2 destroy themselves. And, it was fun. We were wrecking each other's stuff, and luckily, Randy ended up pulling through for us and keeping going. And I had a couple mechanical issues at mine. Something exploded in the train. I thought I pulled the pump bolts out of the transmission, but I ended up putting on the hoist as I got home yesterday afternoon because curiosity gets the cat, and it's not. It wasn't pulled, so I don't know exactly what happened. I pulled the dipstick out, and the thing's still full of fluid, and so I got to tear it apart and see it just, like a snap of a finger, just went away, and Sam ended up having a bunch of water in his transmission. Of course, that doesn't help things at all. So,
no.
And Case, he was sure sending it on the one side of the track there. He was giving it all, that's for sure. He was rocking house over there. So,
what did you bring, Case?
I had a '74 Oldsmobile. And it's what's up?
Is that one of those desert clean ones?
Well, I don't know. The desert's running out of cars. I had to go to Washington to pick this one up, but I don't know. It was fairly clean. Had a little bit of rust. Nothing too terrible.
You want a little bit of rust. That way you can fix it.
Well, here you can't fix rust. There's the only patching you can do is for gear inside the car, tranny coolers, safety stuff. So I had to find a clean car.
So if you guys didn't have the war break out the way that it did, would we be having a different conversation tonight in terms of the finishing order? Because with the way you guys had gone after each other and just throwing haymaker after haymaker, Randy, he's such a driver anyway. He's going to be around at the finish if you give him one wheel. That's just his MO. But the way you guys were throwing haymakers at each other, if you would have left each other alone, was there a chance you'd have been sharing in the winner's money?
I don't have any doubt that, we definitely would have, both of us would have been up in the top, that's for sure. It's just, I guess you just never know exactly, but I'm assuming it would have been a little bit different outcome for sure.
Sure. It's an entertainment sport, though. And
that's the thing. It's one of those things. You can, and I've had this talk with people around here, is you can go after the guys are, going to be there as hammers. You could deal with them when your cards are as fresh as they're going to be, or you're going to have to deal with them at the end when your cars are wore out. So, it's a big decision to make. And that's, you gotta hope that if you guys are down there battling, that the guys that are not driving quite as hard have some issues and some stuff falls out. But once you make that call, I mean, it's on and you're there till the end. So, but I mean, like I said, I like watching shows like that, so I'm all for it. It's it's a great thing to watch.
Is there any hit that stands out in your mind that kind of registered as the one that helped make sure you guys got the Mad Dog Award to your credit?
Well, a case, I would say you probably put the nail in the coffin, especially right next to the main officials on that side, and he comes screaming across the track, and I'm not sure which one he hit, Katie or somebody, but I know I could see him on my side of the track because I was kind of getting held, and he was bouncing off the roof, I think, in the other car. So
it was Katie, and honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of those hits that I connected, and I felt bad. I like all of those guys. I mean, and luckily they're good enough guys to understand that it's a derby, and yeah, it was fun.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, is you guys kind of have the same driving style. I mean, you all get after it pretty hard. So I mean, they're used to it. So I'm sure that's cool. And it's as long as everybody gets out and shakes hands afterwards, that's the important thing.
Exactly. I mean, no one. It's always a real killer when everyone's upset after a derby.
Yeah.
And luckily,
it really shouldn't be. I mean, you're out there to have fun, and you're always going to have a grudge, but take it out in the derby. And when you get out, like you say, get out with a smile on your face and be thankful no one's hurt. I mean, you don't want to it's not the point there. It's just out to have a good time, and you're going to have your rival that you're trying to push up against and see who's got the best of the best, and it's just a matter of time before you figure that out. So.
Yep, for sure.
Is it easier to smile after a derby when you're holding a Happy Gilmore check for second place and Mad Dog?
Well, I would say the Mad Dog for sure. I mean, that's kind of the fun of it. I mean, it's just go out there and send a show for the crowd, and that's the nice thing about a team show too. When you get them 2-man teams or 4-man teams one-on-one, and just they're usually sending it full force to try and get it over with quick and save your car and get some plates on it and come back to the feature. Usually the features, I'd say, aren't as wild and crazy as it was here in Bach. I haven't seen a team show feature, I think, go less than 45 minutes in quite a long time. I mean, everybody was kind of giving it all they had, I believe, at least on our side of the track. I know we were. Sure. So,
I mean, testament to Randy's driving too, to be able to get the team down there, because Silly Willie's no slouch. I mean, you ran down through the teams there.
Yeah,
and,
there was
no
easy teams in that feature,
and
for sure.
And he had to drive for. I mean, you guys proportionally, because you guys got the thing over with fairly quick as a collective feature, but he had to drive with reduced numbers around him, if not alone, for a little bit of time down there.
Oh, I would say, yeah, Randy did excellent. I mean, without him, it definitely went the way it was. And having a good car that stayed, I mean, it took a lot of abuse. He was getting pounding from, I think, all four sides there at one point in time, but he ended up sticking it out, and it all worked out.
Tatey, he's a fun one to watch too.
Yeah, he's good. Well, I mean, that's the thing is we touched last week on all the Rob Hoyer he was on that team show with Team Calistota. So I mean, that was we've read his name on here an awful lot for winning. So it was definitely a stacked feature.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely a hell of a show.
Where are you guys going from here? Do you have anything planned?
I'll let Nick go first, and then I'll go after him.
Myself, nothing too particular as of right now. We farm, so we're going to start harvest here pretty quick. Maybe try and get a cleanup show here or there. But other than that, just wait and see what I guess next year brings here with all this craziness of the cancellation of shows. Hopefully that kind of comes to an end and things get back to normal to get back in the seat and have a good time and travel across the country a little bit.
I think we're starting to hedge towards a little bit more of that stability.
I hope so.
My fingers are crossed for it anyhow. Case, what have you got planned? Is there anything going on in your neck of the woods that you'll be able to get into?
I have another one in Idaho. It's a 2-man team show, just a littler show, nothing to the caliber that last one was. That allows Imperials, and I've never ran an Imperial, so I decided I'll give it a try.
What?
That's awesome.
You've never done an Imperial before?
Not afraid. I've never built and ran an Imperial. I started in 2012, so what's this, my 8th, 9th year?
Mm-hmm.
And they've been outlawed in Utah since 2011. So I kind of missed that.
So you've run subframe cars before, right? They had a subframe swap in them, or no?
Never.
Huh.
What year Imperial are you taking?
68 two-door.
Nice.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Hey, that Bando guy, he knows a couple tricks for them Imperials. You may want to talk to him a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see if he'll let me in on some secrets.
If I remember the pictures around his place that were posted not too long ago, wasn't there a two-door 68 sitting up there?
I don't remember. He's got everything.
It is.
He's got a nice selection.
I don't know who shared it. Somebody just posted a meme of John Goodman chambering around saying, "Call it a Chrysler Imperial one more time."
Yeah.
I think it was Zach Anderson that posted it.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Chris Johnston and Dale Schaefer are from up there in Idaho, and they came down a couple times for, I think it was Hot Rockin' 4th at the Golden Spike. And Chris Johnston, I've seen him run a couple times, but my favorite part about Chris Johnston is his hometown. He lives in Anaconda. The name is the city is Anaconda. Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's really cool.
You gotta wonder how that happened.
What?
Anaconda in Idaho.
Beats me. They found a 2-foot long ball python living in Jamaica Plains in Boston, so that's fun.
Interesting.
Somebody's missing a pet, or somebody got rid of a pet. One or the other. So the 68 Imperial, I do hope that you disregard everything from the doors back. Just run that thing nose out.
Well, I usually drive nose out. I don't know. Randy, actually, when I first started talking to Randy, he'd tell me he'd pay me in Canadian dollars for every hit I made with the trunk, and I think I had $10.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get my head around the fact that you never had the chance to run an
It's-
Imperial. Even some of the mid-'70s stuff.
Yeah.
If you cut the marker lights out, nobody knows that. Anyway, never mind
You
that.
see that happen before?
Anyway, but so do you prefer the 4-man format or the two-man warrior style?
Honestly, I've only ran on a 4-man team. That's the 3rd time I've ever done it.
Mm-hmm.
And 2-man, I've ran 2-man quite a few times with TJ McPhee and then Randy Mikowski and then Spencer Jacobson.
Mm-hmm.
It's different, but I wouldn't say there's one that's better than the other, if that makes sense.
Sure.
That's cool.
And the 4-man almost gives you more chances if you think about it. Like, say I fall out in a 2-man, well, then that means there's only one of my other teammates out there. If I fall out in a 4-man, I still have 3 chances to win, per se.
Right.
Yep. Definitely.
So,
How about you, Nick? Do you have a preference?
I've never ran on a 2-man. I had opportunities, just never worked out. Too busy, and the 4-man is. I really enjoy it just because it's fun when you go out, especially that first round when it's usually one team on one team, and you could just full out send it and see what you can knock out. And usually, knock on wood, you just kind of start with one guy and just keep on working, and it's worked that way. And I guess the way that myself and Sam and Case like to drive, we like to see how far that pedal will go through the floor and just give it all it's got. And when you come out with a smile on your face and your car is not straight up in the air, that's always a good thing too. So
Definitely.
Case, where do you live in Utah, right?
yes, sir. Heber City.
Heber City. So it continues to amaze me how small that part of the country is. When you look at, they're driving 12 hours, and the names that we know from the Utah patch that branches all the way up into Washington. Where was Junior? Did Junior go? Junior Circuit?
No, he didn't. And I actually was thinking about that on the way home. Randy brought another friend with him, and I thought, I wonder why he didn't stop and pick up Junior. I don't know if he was busy with work or whatnot, but
Sure. And did the Dylan Rohrbach, the Rohrbachs, did they run?
I'm not sure that I know them.
No. They had black and blue cars. They won one of the first or second limited weld team derbies at Blizzard Bash, and I think Toddy ran with them at one point as well. But
Okay.
and Ass Kicker had a battle with them. They were the black and blue cars. I'm pretty sure it was the Rohrbachs, and it's just insane, like the number of names that are so common when you go from like that edge of Minnesota over to Washington. And Steve Blankenship's another one. He doesn't run derby so much anymore. He runs race cars, but another one that just like if he shows up, it's gonna be a show. And all the way down into Utah, it's such a huge swath of
Just
the
hard
country,
drivers.
but man, everybody ends up everywhere. You know?
Yeah, definitely. They aren't afraid to travel, that's for sure.
Us big guys like hitting with the nose, hitting with the trunk, breaks too many seats, says Scott Kiefer.
Well, yeah. Just easier to hit with the nose.
Case, it doesn't surprise
I
me.
think you save that trunk for them sleepers that follow you in, too. I mean, you start using it, you ain't got much left, and you get some of them coming in to rock your world. It's nice to have a little bit of a cushion back there.
Yeah, that's one thing about Utah, man, is it's funny because usually one person makes that decision to hit somebody against the wall, and then four more guys are coming wide open. It turns into a banger race. Then they're just driving to each other as fast as it'll go. It's crazy to watch. That's definitely a Utah trait.
Yeah, Montana stuff isn't quite the same, but it's almost like a homing device.
Mm-hmm.
Once one person goes up against the wall, it's just one right after the other, like they were being drawn in.
Yeah, they're making them pay for making a mistake. That's for sure.
And the fans out in that part of the country are different than any place else that I've been to. Utah more so than when you get up into the upper Midwest is they want to go for the heats where it's crazy, and by the time the B main's over, they're already trickling to the cars. They don't even stick around to see the end of it. And
because the cars, there isn't much left, and they don't go as fast, and it's crazy. But I mean, that's the thing. You get out there, and it's definitely, I think New York could run well out there. I think the New York guys could go out there and do well because they're not.
Oh my God! So we need to get the Hillbilly Hammer a car in Montana.
That would be cool. Hillbilly Hammer's running to Vic this weekend at Bethel.
Yeah. Yep. That's this weekend. Yep.
So
we got that. We're going to dive into some of that. We still got some ad spots we got to do. We're going to be catching up with Devon here in just a little bit as well. Was there any point where you thought maybe you'd have a chance to pull off the W?
Well, in my eyes, I mean, Randy's a hell of a wheel man.
Mm-hmm.
When I got out of the car, I was like, that sucks. I mean, there's still half the field's moving, and three of us are done, but you just got to have faith. And Randy's like very, very good in my eyes. He can pull off about damn near anything. Surprises me every time he drives. So I wasn't leaning either way.
Did his car even get hot?
I don't think so. It died on him once. I don't know what happened, but it fired right back up, and he went to work again.
You chuckle at that, and I don't say that like we joke with Jake Doyle and stuff around here. It's not like that. We always bring up and applaud the drivers who don't lose their cool. Mm-hmm. I've never seen Randy react in the car. It's always been and just
continue what he was doing.
Stays with his plan, and his
That's
plan
awesome.
usually gets him down into the finish. Into the top finishing spots. So I mean the quartet that those guys put together for Team Near It, representing Team Near It well out there at the Roughneck Rumble in Sidney, Montana. It was a good combination of people. A lot of hammers, and then you got the guy that can
Money
run it
driver.
down if it needs a money drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Sam Bando.
He was
Driver
going to
number
Kansas
7.
today to go deer hunting.
Of course he was. Why not, right?
Yep.
Case Barker, Nick Schumacher, Randy Mikowski teaming up for the Mad Dog Honors, dueling it out with Poncher's crew and Team Ass Kicker in the feature out there at the Roughneck Rumble, Sidney, Montana. Is there anybody that you guys want to make mention of before we let you go?
I just want to say thank you to Brian Narrett for helping the team out, getting us out there, and thank you to the team for calling and asking and having faith that I'd show up and drive.
How about you, Case?
That was nice.
Oh, sorry, Nick.
Yeah, this is Nick. Yeah, big thanks to Brian. Built excellent quality parts. I mean, whatever you need, you call him, and it's usually at your door. I mean, when he says it's going to be there, and a big thanks to all the people that came out to help. The pit guys put in a couple long days there, and just the family and everybody that was involved with it. I mean, it was a heck of a good time, and hope to make it back out there again. And a big thanks to Caleb and the crew there too. I mean, patient guys to look at all them cars, and I feel like they teched everything very well. They usually always do. Sometimes, I mean, get to deal with the Monterey guys all day long, cussing about something that they don't like. But all in all, it was a pretty good show, and it was right on time. It was boom, boom, boom. I don't think there's any complaints at all.
Awesome. Well,
agreed.
All-In's had a pretty good year so far. Hopefully that momentum keeps going for them next year.
Correct. Yeah, they did an excellent job, and every show we've ever been out this year, anyways, has been great. And like I said, the teching and the quality of being kind of straight across the board, and not much for favoritism. I haven't seen it anywhere, which is kind of nice to see. So
Definitely.
Good deal, guys. Well, again, congratulations on the Mad Dog effort. Congratulations on runner-up, and congratulations on being part of an outstanding feature. It was certainly a good one.
Well, thank you. Hey, thank you.
Absolutely.
Have a good one, guys.
Guys, we'll catch up with you soon.
Yep,
Thanks a lot.
care. Okay, see you. Thank you.
See you now. There goes Case Barker, Nick Schumacher. So the ECCs, East Coast Championship, the 3 days this year down there for Ed Brewster. Ed was up at the hospital earlier this week, and I was getting a little bit nervous because I was seeing Kathy making a bunch of posts and stuff about the ECC still on, but don't ask any questions. I'll get back to you, blah, blah, blah. So that was making me very nervous, but Ed just sent me a message here and said, let everybody know Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're still on. Everything's still happening in the shadow of Southside Speedway, which hasn't been able to run this year, unfortunately, but he's going to be able to get that one off the ground. Kathy was at the helm of one of the JMW Derbies when they went out to they relocated the one from the bull ring to that drag strip in Ohio, and she was in control of that one, so she got the chance to sort of run the show. And
Cool.
She had a couple of people that were starting to bump into each other, not so much bump into their RC cars, and she marched right up between the two of them and said, if you don't knock it off.
Nice.
That was that.
That's cool.
So took right good care of that. A bunch of the guys from up here are going to be going down for the East Coast Championships. It's the big year-end derby that Ed Brewster would always have down there in Midlothian. So that's good.
Tom Bell and crew going to go down? Tom Bell and crew going to go down?
I think Ian's going down. Ian in that lot. Did you hear about Nate White?
No.
Not only was he in a car accident, but I guess there was a big fire at his mom's house.
Really?
Yeah, out on 318. That was. So I don't know if he's going to be making the trip or not. But
Wow,
so
I didn't hear about that.
He's if hopefully that's. I would gladly be wrong. Put it that way. I would gladly be wrong if that wasn't his house. But I heard word that he had a pretty significant fire at the house. So hopefully he's doing okay. I have not heard anything new on Jerry Brown at this point.
I talked to his brother. They were going to do another surgery, but he said he's very positive, upbeat. So they were hoping after that surgery he was going to be coming home. And I believe he said his girlfriend had come home already, was set to come home. So, just trucking along and on the road to recovery.
Good. David Ford Van Camp said reverses for pulling off the trailer. We were talking about
Well,
talking about all that. So we made reference quite a bit here through the early part of the show. Keystone Nationals is coming up this weekend, September the 19th, New Alexandria, Pennsylvania, New Alex Lions Club. 10,000 to win super stocks. Iron City Promotions is in charge of it online, ironcitypromos.com. I heard some astronomical numbers for pre-registration. I don't know if it's true, but oh my gosh. If it comes to pass, they're going to be derbying out there for a while.
Great. Get home Sunday morning.
Late Sunday morning.
Late Sunday morning.
Late Sunday morning. 1,500 to win stock compact, 700 to win youth class. Pit gates at 9, general admission at 2, derby at 6. All the division winners get a championship belt, and the youth winner will also get a derby ready card. Tons of cars from our area. venturing down to the Keystone Nationals, and I was really hoping to catch up with Donnie to talk a little bit about that, because this is a different atmosphere. Dash for Cash, it's a festival of carnage. You're out there for multiple days. You're out there making multiple runs. This one, you're going to do it all in one night. It's like your county fair on steroids. Yeah. And it's really something special to see. So if you get the chance to get down there, make the run down. Iron City Promotions, Keystone Nationals, IronCityPromos.com.
And of course, hold on quick, that is in New Alexandria. It is not in Brookville. It is in New Alexandria.
Right.
Please let your friends know. Make the posts. Apparently, there's been some confusion. So, New Alexandria, Pennsylvania.
New Alex Lions Club. You know you're there when you see half-buried implement tires that don't have concrete in them.
Exactly.
And you just spring off.
Yep.
Smash It Demolition Derbies. They've got a couple events coming up. September the 12th was the Geauga County Fair in Burton, Ohio. Smash's kicker class was out there as the headline event. They have the Power Wheels on that card as well. October the 3rd coming up, Courthouse Crash, Washington Courthouse, Ohio. The two-man pro stock teams, full-size street stocks, mini street stocks, full-size modifieds, street stock, minivan trucks, and SUVs. And then their fall cleanup event is going to be October the 24th. The pro stocks, the modifieds, truck division, street stock, full-size street stock compacts, stock minivan truck and SUV class, Smash It compacts, and Power Wheels also on the card. If you're looking for registration information, jump online, smashitderby.com. Right now, we've got a couple updates to make to the I can't say that. We didn't get the update, so I'm not sure if anything had changed there for the ME527 Unified Point Series. As far as we know, John Shipley still out in front, Don Santel, Jeremy Riley running through the top three. Online for the next events is the jump online, 527unifiedseries.com. September the 19th, again, that's Keystone Nationals, New Alex, PA. After that is the final confrontation in Dunbar, Pennsylvania. September the 26th, that is Hardcore Demolition Derbies. We're going to have Frankie Guy on next week to talk about the approach to the final confrontation. October the 3rd, that's Courthouse Crash in Washington Courthouse. Also that day, Junkett's Gaston Falls Show. The NDDA Top Dog Bluegrass Bash in Louisville, Kentucky is October the 10th. Rouse Promotion Spring Show held October the 10th. It got moved.
Whoops.
Well, because of the COVID stuff. So they're going to be able to get it in Connersville, Indiana on October the 10th. And also September 25th and 26th is River City Rampage.
Yes.
Toast Show.
Yep.
So they're going to be able to get that one in. We talked about Bethel, New York, Bethel Speedway. Sunday Junkin' going to happen for Spinning Wheels. They got the Speedway show. They're going to be able to have fans now. So we're going to be diving into that here once we get on the other side of Devon. Jeffy's Fab Farm is recognized as an industry leader in all manner of fabrication needs. Jeffy's Fab Farm is a national go-to for a number of derby parts. They specialize in all its conversion components, but earn major derby credential with their various header offerings. The Fab Farm this summer released a solid 4-cylinder Camry engine mount and Hyundai Elantra 1.8-liter and 2.0 headers. The store offers bumper-to-bumper selection, including fuel and air parts, suspension and transmission items, steering components, pedal shifter, switches, and gauges. If you need it, it's on the farm online, jeffysfabfarm.com. Smith Metalworks. All of these people that you've heard about tonight, big supporters of the Crash Course Nationals that Brian's going to be running in, the virtual Demolition Derby. It's the closest we're going to come to renting a fairgrounds. Smith Metalworks is an all-purpose fabrication shop that has taken the Northeast by storm. They feature more than 40 years of combined metalworking experience. The hallmark of the line is the pointed and flat bumpers. Brian used one. It did just fine, didn't it?
It did.
Pointed and flat bumpers can be, they replicate popular factory releases from back in the 60s and 70s. It can be stuffed or ran hollow. There's also a compact version of the pointed bumper. Other items include Crown Vic door skins, battery boxes, engine mounting systems, pedal combos, and shifters. The shop offers all the odds and ends, such as distributor clamps, welded centers. Be sure to ask about the GM floor liners. In-person locations are in Mercer, Uniontown, and Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. They also will ship it. You can pick it up at the final confrontation as well. SmithMetalworks.info. Experience and passion second to none. And that runs us through all of that. Real quick, we had one more quick item to get to. We should probably do this here. Let's get that there.
Yeah, there's Chris.
And then we'll get that there. We missed the Weber City results last week. We had gone off the air before we got that, so I just wanted to revisit that for Jacob Pruismann. That was the last show of the year. 103 entries for the Derby portion of the event. Dawson Mack won that one. Heavy hitter was Ryan Frank. Standard Compacts had 20 cars. Stacy Flynn won there. We talked about that on the show. Corey Peterson got Mad Dog. Old Iron Stock Mix, there was 18. Eric Quintilla coming away with a win in that one. And Brandon Ubin ended up getting the Mad Dog Award. He took 5th place overall. Limited World Cars, Colton Newhalfen from Blue Earth, Minnesota, took the win in that. So that was cool to see.
Good to hear that.
Yeah, listen to this. Colton Newhalfen, Mike Games, Caleb Spitz, Ori Reed, Mike Sharn, and Corey Mickelson got Mad Dog. It's a pretty stock. This is pretty stacked, too. Cody Lockhart won the modified well class. Cody Gaines was second. Kyle Eaton, Casey Struckman, Craig Birkenpass, and Booger Mickelson taking Mad Dogs in the modified division. And the point standings for the 448 Promotions crew. Mike Gaines won the full-size championship with 420 points. He had it pretty well in hand over Brandon Kais and Matt Sharn. Dan Wells, Cody Gaines filling out the top 5. The compact side of things was a little bit closer, but it was still pretty easy to decide. Jake Flater, 480 points to his credit. He had a 60-point lead over Jake Birette, Lance Sedlicek, Joe Herrig, and Jordan Birette running through the top 5 there. Domination Motorsports had a derby over the weekend. That was the Sunday Fun Day run. Jared Ullman won youth mowers. Bill O'Connell won adult mowers. Zach Sargent won front-wheel drive hobo stock. And Houston Shear won the Dominator Award for the weekend. So
I thought Booger retired.
Yeah, he's the busiest retired guy I've ever heard about. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's covering some ground. I got to get that fixed. I hate how that does that in the background. So we're going to catch up with Devon. You know, the shows would probably stay on schedule if we would stop talking, but I guess that's what we're here for.
This one's got to end on time, man. We got to be out the door.
I know.
At least I do. I got to go see my Giants.
Yeah, you can if you got to go.
Chris might finish up by himself.
Hey, Devon. All right. So my biggest question for Devon after all this time, have we been saying your name right?
Yeah, you're pretty close, you bet.
I'll take it. so Devon Groeneveld ran with Team Silly Willy, and that team won the Roughneck Rumble up in Sydney, Montana over the weekend. So we talked with the Mad Dog guys a little bit earlier in the show, and was it a case where you let them fight the war and you just stayed right out of it?
Well, we had a strategy going into the main for sure. It took us a long way to get there, but we figured we'd start on one end and work our way to the other and see how it turns out in the end.
Sure. Well, it certainly seemed like that plan worked out for you all right. Take me through the feature itself, and tell me about the team that you guys had put together for this one. Certainly, there was no way that you could look at that feature and say this team has definitely got an advantage. This team is definitely going to win. You certainly had to drive and earn it.
Yeah, for sure. So how this team started was actually at the Bakken Beatdown, Caleb's earlier show in the year. Top 10, and the Mad Dogs got team spots, and then they'd fill up the team with the last 9 spots after that. And I was fortunate enough to get a spot myself, and Willie got a spot himself as well because he got the overall Mad Dog there. Mm-hmm. And then I had Kemsley and Nenzi and the boys from Canada. They were already built for that show, but they didn't come down due to COVID. Mm-hmm. So I was actually out. I didn't have a team to join on, and then I just snapped Willie one day and said, "Hey, Willie, is your team full?" He said, "Nope, you want on?" And I said, "Absolutely." So I jumped on with him and Neil Moore and Chris Moore, and we'd never ran together in a team, but it seemed to click after our Friday night didn't go very well for us against the Ass Kickers, but we went the long way through the B main and seemed like we clicked there, and then we just stuck together in that main and worked our way down the track, and the boys pulled her through in the end there with the old pin to win that we voted against.
Was there ever a point in the A main where you thought, we might have this thing in the bag?
Actually, it felt pretty good right off the bat, just the way that every time I looked beside me, it was black and orange cars. It was our team together the whole time. Nobody got away. Nobody got in trouble too much. Probably 3/4 of the way through, it definitely broke some transmission. Something, I'm not sure yet what's broken in there. I'll have to find that out later. But got a little bit of a fire there, and that was the end for me. And by then, the boys they worked together perfect, and they just worked their way down the track. And at the end there, Willie managed to pin in Randy and Grant, or Garrett, I guess, and Neil was sitting there ready, waiting just in case someone snuck out, but they didn't, and that's all she wrote for us, checker flag at the end of the day.
Right. So, we've had concentric circles with some of the trips out to Utah and some of the trips up to Montana and stuff like that, and haven't had a chance to really sit down and grab an in-depth conversation with you, Devon. But when I saw that you were part of the winning team, we've had Willie on the show and everything. The question that came off my mind that I immediately wanted to ask you is, how in the world did you get over the border with it closed in order to run in this Derby, just to be able to be part of it, let alone be part of the team that won the thing?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a question that I get asked every day. Long story short is I have a permanent work visa for the United States, and I work in North Dakota. And luckily enough for me, I get to go back and forth across the border. I'm not allowed to bring cars down by any means right now, but have some cars down at our shop there in Williston, and just build there and get to have a little bit of fun with the boys once in a while.
Cool.
Well, that was my next question. Was how many cars do you bring over right now? You're the only person that get cars into Canada. But no, that got shut down. But still, that's outstanding, because I mean, it's good for you guys. That whole team. Willie was due some luck his way too. It's a good win for him.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Willie's a world-class competitor. He's always there. He knows how to drive hard, and he knows how to wheel if he has to as well. This stuff runs good, and strategy worked out good for us.
Did something happen in the heat that sent you guys through the B main to get to the A looking as clean as you did?
Our strategy going into there was to hit hard and get it over as quick as we can, get back to the pits, and put the rest of our plates on whichever car needed them the most. Mm-hmm. And we managed to get it over really quick. It worked out very well for us.
So what was the plate rule there? Did you have extra plates in hand, or did cars that run the B main get an extra set of plates?
No, we had extra plates in hand. How the plate rule works down there is every driver gets 6 plates after the first round, and if you want, you can share them amongst your team.
Okay,
so
interesting.
We came out in pretty good shape. We had some bad luck Friday night, but a couple of our cars were very clean, so 2 of us elected not to put all our plates on. I know it's a bold strategy, but we didn't put them all on. And then when we came back out, we still had 5 plates amongst the 4 cars of us, and we ended up putting them all on 1 car.
Nice.
Yeah, that works out well.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Huh. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, being able to pocket some, and then you can, and nobody necessarily knows who's got all of them, right?
No, not until they start hitting and they get to the end of the feature and it's still straight. Oh, that's why that car's straight. That's a good plan. That takes some guts to do that, though. Boy. I mean, because you got to get to the feature to win the feature. So, I mean, that's a pretty big gamble going through the B main.
All in that basket in that B main.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's impressive. That's really impressive. I mean, I've never heard of guys holding back plates, and that's crazy. Usually,
I don't think we've ever been someplace where you're allowed to share the plates among the cars.
Yeah,
it's always been. I think it's always been
per car. Yeah,
it's been 4 aside.
Yeah,
was the most that I think that we've ever seen at the various rule iterations at Blizzard Bash. I don't think I've seen anything else like that. That's wild.
Yeah. So what make and model was the car that ended up with the extra plates?
It was a 73 Caddy.
With 5 extra plates. Yeah, I bet you that was pretty stout up front. That's a hell of an idea.
How creative can you get when you place those plates? Because, I mean, right now I'm thinking of a couple different places you could put that not in the front.
Yeah, well, the plate rule is you can get really creative there. Caleb's rules there is basically you can manipulate that plate as much as you want and stretch it out as much as you want, as long as corners are touching.
As long as corners are touching.
As long as the corners are touching, like one corner is touching, so it's one plate still. But you can manipulate it any way you want. So you can stretch 5 inches out quite a bit if you really get creative with it.
Okay, so
that's awesome. That thing was plated from the bumper to the crush box.
do you remember the plate rule? I think it was Keystone Nationals with the Reckless Warriors Tour, where you were allowed to, after the car ran, you were allowed to have X number of plate, and if your 4x4 plate would be equal to 16 square inches, you could...
Oh, yeah.
Remember when Steve cut it up into 1-inch squares?
Yeah, I do. Now that you mention that.
Checker mark the whole frame?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. Now that yes, I remember that.
He had to cut all those off one by one. Wow, let's be serious. Diesel had to cut those off.
No, what's his name? Not Diesel. Diesel's Todd's cars. Burrows.
Yes.
Burrows.
And I bet they all got saved.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, that's interesting, man. We gotta get Caleb on sometime. Talk to him about his rule book, man.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's pretty cool. That's a hell of an idea right there. That's neat.
And it gave you enough to get the cars into victory lane.
For sure it did. You bet.
That's awesome.
So I'm wondering if the car that was staged waiting to make a hit if somebody got free was
one of the
was that the plated car?
Probably. That was what was going to be knocking people out. Yes.
That's awesome.
That is very cool.
Well, man, I was very happy to see you guys come over with a win up there. But I mean, there's probably 600 other teams that I'd be saying the same thing that were in the feature, and then there was a bunch of people in the B main that I was saying that about. But
that's the thing. We all know so many guys. I mean, it's good to see people we know win.
Well, Devon's another one of those guys that makes that huge swath of country between Utah and Alberta seem like it's the size of a postage stamp, because we've seen you all over out there too.
Oh, for sure. You bet. Kansas, Utah, Montana, North Dakota, Alberta, Saskatchewan, BC. I put some miles on.
Are you going to go to that derby that's in Saskatchewan coming up the 25th or 26th? I think Scott Perdonick was talking about it.
I'm actually not going to be around for that one. It's too bad.
No.
Yep.
We tried. What else have you got left this year?
That's probably it for me this year. I was already started building my Blizzard Bash car. That's pushed till March, so I'll probably just continue tinkering on that car. Maybe do some hunting this fall. And
now, when you go hunting, you're going back to Canada to hunt, right?
Correct.
All right, I was going to say, they grow some big deer in Alberta and Saskatchewan. Real big deer.
Yes, we do, yeah.
How'd you get into Demolition Derby to begin with?
Let's see. It was, 1995 was my first year. Had this old 77 Caprice Classic on the farm that I used to drive around all the time, shooting gophers or whatever. And then Dad came home from town one day with a set of rules for a local derby there, and he said, take these and put that car together and go have some fun. And it's a lot different back then than it is now. I didn't even use a torch or a welder on that car.
Yep.
A little different world.
Definitely.
But I mean, imagine how far it's come in that perspective from 1995 to now. You know, we've had some conversations like that, but to not even have a torch or a welder on the car, that's...
I went a lot of years with no torch. Not that I built like these guys do, but I bet you I've only had a torch for 10 years.
Yeah.
And the only welder we had was Dad's stick.
What did you get the torch for, though? Did you get that so that you could cut cars up? Was that the original intention, or was
no?
it...
Just because you need it, because I would have to grind something or cut it with a sawzall or something like that. So I mean, you just need it, and I just was just never spent the money. So the last couple of years,
Gotcha.
last few years, we've gotten torches and nice MIG, and so getting it all before I retire and sell everything.
I was really surprised when we were talking with Case. He said he only started back in 2012. I thought you'd been doing a lot longer than that.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you hear about guys for so long, and then holy cow, it's some guys have just had success from the beginning.
There are a lot of cars up in Alberta and Saskatchewan still?
Yeah, there's a lot of old iron around yet. There's not much. You don't see much for metric stuff at derbies. Obviously, our cars aren't as clean as they are down south, but there's a lot of old iron around still.
Well, I figured up there everything would be like freeze dried and it wouldn't rust.
No, there's a lot of salt.
Gotcha. So a little off subject, but what's the coldest you've ever been out on a deer hunt? What's the coldest you've ever hunted in?
Definitely probably around that minus 40, 42.
Oh, God. Whew.
Yeah.
That's cold. All right, now we get back to derby.
I was actually on a buffalo hunt right way up north at the Yukon Territories border. It was pretty crazy.
Did you get one?
I did.
Nice. Very cool. How big was it?
Snow and cold.
How heavy?
Well, at the end of the day, when I got all my boxes of meat back from the packers, there was 680 pounds there. So.
Whoa. That's a lot of meat. On the hoof, I can't imagine. Wow. That's awesome.
Huh. So there's a lot of words I haven't ever had in an actual conversation about negative 42 buffalo hunt, Yukon Territory.
We do it all here on Crash Course, man. We cover everything. I'm telling you, it's one of the best things that I've gotten out of being on Crash Course is going to these derbies. And we'll talk derbying with guys, but then you're from Missouri or Nebraska or Kansas or Dakota, North Dakota or South Dakota. So it goes, then it goes into hunting, and it's whitetail and it's muleys and it's elk and now a buffalo. So it's cool. I've been blessed to hear hunting stories and see hunting pictures and stuff from these guys.
All right, Devin, you pulled into Blizzard Bash before, right? You came through the tunnel into the arena at the Stormont Vale Event Center, right?
I have, you betcha.
You have. What made your heart pound harder, pulling through that tunnel, or you're looking through a scope at a buffalo?
Oof, that's a tough one. Probably first time Blizzard Bash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty wild pulling into that arena.
I bet.
Well, you get to do it again in March.
Pardon me?
You get to do it again in March.
Yeah, you bet. I've been down there since 2015, so it's a reoccurring effect for me. It's definitely one of a kind down there.
It absolutely is. Will you get anything in before you get to Blizzard Bash? Blizzard Bash 2.0, I guess.
I might. There's one show that might be interested in January. I was very interested in it, and then obviously getting Blizzard Bash pushed to March, it's kind of hard to go to another show a month before Blizzard Bash when you're building a mod.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll see how it works.
Well, we've seen people put them together in 6 weeks before. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anybody else that you want to make mention of? Just help make sure that the team was successful out there at the Roughneck Rumble?
No, Neil and Chris and Willie, for sure. Bang up guys, great builders, hard drivers. Oh, wow. It was definitely fun driving with them. Obviously, Caleb Sorensen and All In Promotions there, he puts on an amazing show. With Harvest and everything that was going on in Montana there, it didn't seem like he had quite the crowd but that he probably needed, but he paid out what he promised plus more. It was a pretty big payout at that show, so
Awesome.
Definitely kudos to him for coming through on his word and putting on a hell of a show.
Sweet.
Outstanding.
Always good when that happens.
That's good, man. Congratulations again, Chris Moore, Neil Moore, Willie Lochner, and Devon Groeneveld. Did I say it right? Am I closer?
You got it.
Groeneveld. Finally. and we got it from the authority now. So
Yeah,
now going forward.
that's right.
Now going
We know how to
forward,
say
if we
it.
mess it up, it's only our fault, right?
I'll just call him Devon. It's easier.
We appreciate you coming on the show. It was great to finally catch up with you a little bit. And congratulations on the weekend, man, and enjoy all those hunts.
Will do. Thank you very much, fellas.
We'll talk
Have
soon.
a good one.
You bet. Bye.
There goes Devon Groeneveld coming away with the win out there with Team Silly Willy, Willie Lochner, Chris Moore, Neil Moore out there at the Roughneck Rumble in Sydney, Montana. Just about wrapping things up. I think we covered everything. BMP's got another date in October, but I'm not sure what it is. Let's see. I had a Facebook message come in from Mark Elliott, and I got to find it because he got us some updates tonight. There it is. All right. So John Shipley is going to be inspecting at the Keystone Nationals. The current points leader, who's
Won like 8 in a row.
7 in a row and a third, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can handle that.
The championship rings are in, and they look beautiful. I got
Cool.
Nico going. I got to get rid of that. There, we'll do it this way. There we go. Jason Koch is putting pressure on him to start the 2021 season.
With the New Year's,
The battle at Daytona Beach, which, yes.
how cool is that?
Yes, please do. That'd be awesome. Banquet ticket information is going to be coming out by the end of the month. So there's a little bit of an update there. And then Spinning Wheels Productions, just to let everybody know, this is, I can't read it. Get rid of that. There we go. Fans are going to be allowed at the September 20th Derby at Bethel Speedway. The classes, the economy compacts, so their heat and feature format, 1,500 to win. That one, 750 Mad Dog, and the feature, the Youth V8, 15 cars only built to Spinning Wheels Bone Stock rules, 700 to win there. V8 Bone Stocks will be limited to 15 cars, 700 to win. Bone Stock Compacts, 700 to win. And then the economy compact trucks, SUVs, and vans, 700 to win. There's no crowd limit. Gates open at 10 o'clock. Tech closes at 1, 2 o'clock start time. Listen to this. Make sure you know it. We cannot start any cars before 1 o'clock, so we will tech your vehicle on the trailer in a roll-through style inspection. You can't start the cars before 1.
You know what? That's kind of neat doing it that way too, because then you can really get underneath and see what's going on. And they are sold out. I talked to Jeremy yesterday.
$15 general admission, but it's sold out.
The cars are sold out.
Okay, all
all
divisions are
classes
sold
are
out.
full.
Wow, awesome.
So they're going to be tearing some stuff up.
Reckon on a Sunday at Bethel Speedway, September the 20th. That is the day after the Keystone Nationals. So exciting to get all that stuff out there. I think we've covered everything that we set out to. We talked to everybody we were supposed to. Redneck Rumble, Carson Dixon, Domination. I think we got it all. And don't forget, Keystone Nationals, September 19th. They're a big part of what we do here, year in and year out. Iron City Promotions, putting that one on Iron City Promos. In charge of it, IronCityPromos.com on the web if you're looking for additional details. New Alexandria, Pennsylvania, home of the former New Alex Lions Club season championship. We got to go down there. Our first live stream, I believe, was at the New Alex Lions Club.
Yep.
We did it with
One camera.
one of those style cameras that's right in front of you.
Yes.
We had it on a stick, basically, taped to a railing.
Yeah.
And said, hope this
It
works.
was amazing. I remember watching it from home. I had to either at a game or work the next day. I can't remember what it was.
Probably a game with his latest.
Yeah, I was going to
news.
say, I think it was Zach's modified season.
Yep.
Yeah, because he's a senior now, so that would put it 5-6 years ago. So,
Man.
what do you think? Fork it?
Yep. Because I got to get to Walmart and you got to get to football.
I got to get to football.
All right, that's going to do it for this. We'll see everybody next time. Thanks for watching on the Crash Course.
The Crash Course Live is presented by Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, hosts of May Mania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.